risers hanging tough with us. I appreciate you. Yeah, I knew. Oh, somebody else invited me to a PK. Damn, she's awesome, but I cannot break this thing that we got going on right now. So I'm gonna just let it time out because I hate hitting reject on people that I'm cool with. I'm just like, I can't reject you. You're awesome. Anyway, really good conversation. Is he on Bigo yet? No, he just made his account today. He just made it today. That's why we don't want him to do a PK. Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, he's back, y'all. So much. Let me get some sound. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. All
You can
right.
hear me? Can you?
Yeah, we can hear you. Let's go. Let's go.
Awesome.
Rose, welcome, Empress. Good to see you. So we've had, guys, just to recap a bit, we've had a very, very powerful conversation. We talked about, Cronus crispus. We've talked about the root cause of a lot of disease. Yes, I'm up late as tonight with my brother Bro Menez in the house. We are talking life-saving information, literally just understanding our bodies on a high level, understanding the earth, understanding minerals. Thank you so much, Reese. Understanding different attributes of the alkaline lifestyle and clearing up some things about some foods, whether it be chlorella or black seed oil or even turpentine. We started to talk about a little bit some things, cacao, some things that, we want to make sure that we understand. And we also talked about chemistry, chemical affinity, how things are on the outside of the body as well as how they react on the inside of the body. We can't cover everything in one night, but we're doing our best to touch on a bunch of things. So I wanted to ask you about structured. Actually, before I get into my other questions, do you have a take on mushroom powder and ginger powder and powdered herbal support versus raw food support? Is it can be more concentrated, but you want to make sure that you don't have contaminated stuff and it's actually all organic and
Yeah, yeah. You do have the open door for those type of potential problems. When you did, you now have the question of wondering what you're getting is the herb, because there are a lot of people who make powdered forms of herbal supplements, and what you find is that what you get is cut, is not 100% pure, is not 100% uncontaminated. Um, when you look into the aspects of it, you find that they are convoluted. They are not 100% authentic and real. You can look at it. You can look this up. There was a whole like news special about studies done on capsules, right? Find and buy from Walmart, right? Like Sun Valley, some the all those different generic brands that you find at Target, Walmart, all of those supplements and pills that you find like vitamin C and iron and all that. Oh, I forget the brand. I think it's called Nature Sun something. The generic brand that Walmart carries, Walmart, Target, half the brands in GNC, the capsules, right? They broke the pills open, dumped it out, and basically tested to see if it was really what it was. It wasn't. Like 90% of what was on the shelf was like not in the capsules. Like it was
so
like they found like grains of sand. I forget.
so
This was like over a year ago that
So
I watched this.
commercialized herb stuff, definitely we would recommend away from. If you are just like with, yeah, I told y'all I've seen acid. I saw like something that was like vitamin D capsules, and they poured it on styrofoam and it melted it. I told y'all I've seen some pretty crazy stuff out there. So I would not do any commercialized mainstream stuff. But the same way, like you're here vetting, products through like people that you see who study the craft. I've always told my clients to do the same things with your herbs. Deal with an herbalist, deal with somebody who is a professional of the craft, that's worked with the culture for some time and actually, has done the work, can demonstrate to you that they're not just regurgitating, because we live in the copycat era, on a high level. So you really got to make sure that no disrespect to anybody who's reading off when they're making their content, but it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different when you actually know somebody who's studied and has dedicated their career and life to this, like my brother here in the box, dropping knowledge with us tonight. So yeah, I agree with you, bro. Fresh herbs, you want it, and this is like the same thing I tell people for CMOS. If you're gonna get powdered CMOS capsules, you got to now ask yourself that: do you know the strain that they have? Do you know the way that they processed it? If they used good quality water, do you know how they got to that form in the first place? And if you don't even know what type of strain they used, a lot of people are buying gel from distributors that they've never seen the raw form of the moss. So,
Well, you know, this position that I have on powdered sea moss is I feel like people should use it, but not in the form. I feel like the only use for powdered sea moss is when Dr. Sebi talked about incorporating it in cooking. Sea moss could be used as a yeast replacement, baking soda replacement. You don't need that yeast in dough when you can use powdered sea moss to make your dough rock. You can whip that up in the dough for the pizzas that you make, vegan pizzas. You can get like a New York style crust. It's more nutritious. Doesn't contribute to any kind of yeast production in the gut. You know what I'm saying?
and it's amazing.
So what is conflicted dilemma, convenience, um, comfortability, and authenticity. Quality. And when people talk about CMOS, not just in talking about the ramifications of powdered versus raw, but you got to understand the way it works. You want it to be raw. The way that it works, as far as a hydrocolloid, as far as it being a profile of kappa carrageenan or iota carrageenan. That's another thing that we need to talk about. The different multitudes and profiles of carrageenan in the 2,000 different range of strands and species of moss, of algae out here. Because somebody could algae that looks like Gracilaria when it's really um, what is it? There's a different algae called
Like Eucamatini or
spinosum. Something. It looks just like it.
it looks just like it. Okay, but it's a different strain though.
Yeah.
Efi, welcome. Brandy Spaz, welcome. I appreciate you so much. Lace Angel, welcome. Thank you all for being here. 240 in the room, no lottery. I'm incredibly grateful. Appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. I'm learning so much on top of what I already know. Thank you for contributing and sharing your knowledge. And thank y'all for tapping in. Go ahead.
Sorry. Galadium spinosum.
Okay.
Indistinguishable from Gracilaria. As a matter of fact,
Really?
what they're growing out there is a farmed version of Uchiuma. It's not even Gracilaria. I ain't
See?
talking. Man, listen. That I have planned. Some of these people who are like the owner of the St. Lucian Moss Company, they're not going to be happy about that information that I have to share because I can share. I have conclusive research to show that this specific algae, and also when it's farmed, you don't get a beneficial or nutritious profile of carrageenan. What you get is polygenine, and not only that, you medications that are just nasty. This is the same stuff that I spoke about during the pandemic. Like, this is the stuff that had people going to the bathroom and they were bleeding, and they were contacting me about that during the pandemic. Like, a lot of people bought up some fake sea moss and they took a lot of it, and man, it ripped their gastrointestinal mucoproteins to pieces. Like, the mucosal linings started to become non-existent, and because that's what it does. This is not a this is an industrial grade agent thickener, right? Well, in America, corporate infrastructure companies been using this stuff for years. Like, CMOS is not brand new to America. Using the thickening agent in agar.
I've
The
told
same
y'all about that. How carrageenan, if you anywhere you see carrageenan on packages and stuff, that's an extracted, altered form of sea moss, right, brother?
actually from agar. Agar is polygenin solution, because you
Wait,
can
say that
take a
again. Agar is polygenin, and then it cut out.
polygenin is the algae that they're growing on the ropes out there in St. Lucia
Fake moss.
and China. And you have some people out there in Jamaica growing it too.
Uh huh.
All
Uh
right, Trinidad, the Virgin Islands, and places like that. Because it's a money grab going on. People are trying to take advantage. Who say they want sea moss? People say they want sea moss and herbs now, and there are folks out there that are going to be like, okay, and then they just sell people fake sea moss and dead herbs that have bugs, holes, and all kind of mold. That have been in storage for months. These are not fresh herbs. Like, my is green. It's just dried. So it's the difference between soursop leaves that are black and brown and dead.
huh.
You
Just
know, it's
just because
this,
I know we can go in on that black market flow
this
for a bit.
five
What's
catches.
your structured water? Could you give us like 5 good minutes? I know we could probably do a all night presentation on structured water and like C60 and stuff like this. Man, this is a series. Yeah, no, we absolutely have to do a series. No, 1,000%. This is not a once in a while thing. No, we're gonna be working. We plan on structuring. A lot of the topics tonight, we could do a whole nother 24 days of healing. For those that don't know, we're in the middle of a 24 days of healing marathon. My birthday, my solar return is November 24th. It's in 2 days now. And all month long, I wanted to share a different ancient form of healing topic for us to discuss. Obviously, we got into a ton of them today. Today's actual topic was diaphragmatic breathing. We were watching some videos on the DMT, activating the diaphragm, panic, anxiety, stress, so that's why when you came in on the stress, it just flowed so perfectly. But before we go into any of that, we will give you guys a series. We definitely got more work to do. And he has a ton of content out right now. You guys should definitely follow him. I'm going to give you his info. But structured water, what you got? Because I honestly, it's one thing that I know we need, but I don't even know exactly what structured water is and how we get it.
Well, structured water is basically one of the different multitudes and the different phases of water, right? We have different phases of water from the state H2O to the fourth stage of water, which would be H3O2, right? Um, you have more amalgamations of increasing the dynamics and memory of the water. Water is almost like a storage device, like a USB, right? When you can buy a USB that's 16 gigabytes versus one that's 64 gigabytes, the main difference is the amount of content that it can store. What if I told you that water is like a battery? It can hold a charge, but when you increase its memory, it can hold a greater charge. It can hold more dialect neutrons, you know, but I'm talking about, uh, when we talk about H3O2, right? Um, pull up so I can actually.
Now, I tell y'all often that you can get your structured water in your electrical fruits, your carbon based fruits, for one, of course, and other vegetables as well too, but particularly for your fruits because they are 90% water. They have the fiber, the antioxidants. But as far as like breaking down exactly what structured water is from a scientific standpoint, I wanted you guys to fully understand that. We know we need it, we know where to get it, but as far as we want to cover all aspects always, and dive a little bit deeper into it as well. And I know that I believe you also do some, like I said, some custom combinations for infusions with like C60 structured water. For those that don't know, Carbon 60 is a way that you can help recharge your cells' regenerative ability. Carbon 60, we're made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, primarily nitrogen too, and other things, but um,
Yeah. Uh, just to add on to what you were saying, it's a hyper antioxidant that is proven and known to turn sick dying tissue into healthy living tissue. And this information that anybody can go look up. They did, studies in Africa, Botswana, where they gave hyper antioxidant C60, um, glycine, glutathione, selenium, molybdenum, tryptophan, and cysteine to AIDS patients, and their AIDS status was reversed. So, but going back to the H3O2, right? And we can save that for a whole nother conversation. It gets deep with me. Like it gets like one of my consultations ran for like 9 hours. And I don't, and I'm not cheap. I charge $100 an hour for my consultations, but I don't really do them anymore because people are not very appreciative of the amount of resource that they get access to. They go around looking to see if anybody else is out there that can match that, and then they come back after a month and they want to proceed, and I just feel like I wasted a month of my time. So this is old information to me. It's exotic information to everybody else, but I'm a nerd, so I sit home just learning about the body. H3O2, right? H2O is two hydrogens, one oxygen. H3O2 is three hydrogens, two oxygens. A evolved version of the water molecule. Think about it like Pokemon, right? You got Pikachu, you got Bulbasaur. They evolve into bigger, stronger monsters, right? Kids know this, parents know it because their kids know it. It's a perfect analogy.
it
You
is.
have water that can evolve. The basic connotation of hydration is actually an innuendo. It's a misnomer because you can't actually hydrate your body by drinking water. That's actually false. It feels like we're quenching our thirst because we're drinking the base state of what we're made of. But what we're actually, the body requires is a structured form of that. And that water is structured and amalgamated, stepped up through the nutrient profiles of our concentration from our body, from our composition, from the mucoproteins that we naturally produce. And what are those mucoproteins composed of? Galactose, polysaccharides, peptides. The same stuff that makes up the fiber in the sea moss.
Ow.
When we talk about this, we got to understand
Oh my
the
god.
affinity the affinity, the close relationship, they damn near cousins. When we talk about the relationship between melanin and chlorophyll, they're both cousins. Why? Because they light. Chlorophyll traps red, blue, green light. That's the plant blood. And then you have the spectrum of sunlight, traps all light. It's light solidified. And they have a similar isometric structure. The only difference is in the middle of the plant blood is magnesium, in the middle of the human blood is iron, right? But when you look at the ability of water and the different permutations, you find there are phases. And when you're drinking water, your body has the task of stepping that water up or down because your body is not just one big jelly, you know, a jelly bag. Your body is water, solid, in between.
So,
And
so real quick to make it clear, because she asked, like, so to get structured water, because I want to make it clear. I know we said a couple things. The stuff that he was naming is stuff that sea moss is very well comprised of. But in addition to sea moss, also our fruits, our electrical fruits and vegetables are a great source of structured water. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
absolutely, when you look at fruits, they have a water content. They mostly are water, right? 70% plus usually. And when you look at the hexagonal structure of this water is, you know, pollutants.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank y'all so much for the support. He is an encyclopedia. He's a library. I love this guy. We've been talking for some time, and I've been waiting for this for a while. I don't know if his device died. I hope not. Oh, there we go.
Got 20%. It's the notification, but
Copy.
we could we could wrap this up in another maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. I don't know if people are getting tired, it is 1:20, almost 1:30 over here, but
Yeah.
I'm a night owl myself. I really don't mind.
Yeah.
Um
No, I
I
love
think
it, and they're tuned in. Yeah, I was about to say. I know some people about to say we could definitely keep going, but I wanna lead by example, and I want to give y'all some real structured sessions in a series because we're gonna at this rate we're gonna try to get it all in. And well, yeah, because if we if I just let us go off the reins, we'll definitely keep going. At 10:22 in Cali, I am not tired. I'm so excited, electrified by this information. Okay, so let's feel out the conversation a bit because honestly, I want to keep going myself too, but after 2:30, all right, we'll definitely probably call it in that range, okay? But
yeah,
but yeah, thank you guys. And if you have some more questions, I do appreciate the engagement. Okay, even though it's been tough getting to every question because he has some thorough answers, and I love it. I love every bit of it. So structured water. We were talking about how necessary and how what goes into it, the structure itself, and how it's so built into the fruits. 90 70 plus percent water, many of them 80-90% plus water, but also with the fiber, the antioxidants. And when we say structure, we're talking about the molecular structure, right? It adds
right.
a charge to it as well, too. Biomagnetism, exactly.
Absolutely. It is um there is um a pH value that's associated with this as well. There is,
You know,
like, I was just gonna say, like, okay, when we talk about structured water, one thing people gotta understand is that it's not just found in fruits. It is found in fruits. You definitely want to get it from your fruits, the water inside the fruits, the water, the moisture content, right, in
Okay, let
fruits,
us know.
back, um, you got some of the cleanest, healthiest, most beneficial type of water. It's known as H3O2, and the plants basically turn this. Um, they create this organic vestigial fluid, this structured fluid from the organic minerals. Um, Turn inorganic minerals into organic minerals for the body during its self-filtration process. It's a living water. It's an alkaline electric water.
Ooh, so
Um,
powerful.
when we talk about structured water, one of the best forms you can get it from are cucumbers, watermelon, pineapple, romaine, Roma tomatoes, blueberries, cantaloupes, and pears. Um,
Phenomenal.
Now, the structured water, right, is basically something that you can create. You can create structured water, not from all sea moss, but you can create a lattice, a type of water, right, that is fortified by a lattice structure that will take the water and align it in a pattern with the presence of the type of profile of carrageenan it has with the I mean, let me reword that. Depending on the profile of carrageenan that it has that accompany the mineral concentration, because the different profiles of carrageenan, people don't know, they actually concentrate different variable levels of minerals. For instance, kappa carrageenan is more dominant in calcium than iota carrageenan. Iota carrageenan is more dominant in potassium than kappa carrageenan. And when you understand the required levels of each mineral, metastasizing effect that it has, you can change the level of thickness of the catalyzing of the thickening agent by adjusting the levels of calcium to sulfur or potassium to sulfur. So when you understand how those minerals work in tandem to create and catalyze the gel and create that lattice structure in the form of water, you can create sea moss havens. You can create sea moss concoctions. You can create herbal products that are on a whole nother level. And when I tell you about this, I believe that this is something that Dr. Sebi tried to tell people, but they were just kind of like overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the stuff that he did with sea moss. At first, I couldn't understand. How do you cure AIDS with sea moss? How do you cure AIDS? And when people ask you how, you tell them sea moss. I study sea moss forward, backwards, like the back of my hand, bro. I didn't understand until I actually understood that he changed the form. And when you change the form, you change the whole act, the whole way that it acts, like the whole thing and happening to the cells, the body. Man, listen, that stuff make your eyes pop out because of the large disparity, the bifurcation from what it did when it wasn't in that form versus what it does when it's in that form. You just changed the form. You didn't expect that much of a difference. Like real talk, it's nature is freaky. How much A world of difference is literally by like changing one small thing. But isn't nature that complex?
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Isn't the
Is
human
that
body that complex?
is
Isn't
that
the
how like when
system that complex where you can't even do certain things until you feel comfortable? You can't even speak properly until your body temperature is in the right state. If you're too, you don't want to talk. If you're too hot, you might actually feel like, yeah, I don't know, bad, maybe bad analogy, but you know what I'm talking about. You might not feel the ability to do certain things until you are in a conducive state.
is that why
So,
your thoughts and the energy, all the frequency stuff like the Masaru Emoto water experiment, your energy going into your water saying thank you and abundance and gratitude changes the molecular structure? Is that like the same thing, everything being frequency?
yeah, I believe so. You know, you have the Dr. What
Dr.
is this?
Emoto?
Dr. Emoto, the rice experiment,
Exactly.
right? Said hateful words. They said loving words. They said nothing to rice in different jars that were, exposed to bacteria, right? Of course, air and everything that could change whether, the vibration was afflicted or not. And what they found was it had a direct effect, direct correlation with how um, the shell was, the cultivation, the cultivation of good or bad bacteria. It's funny how vibration can cultivate good or bad bacteria. Literally, it sends the direction of the polarity of the type of bacteria that's cultivate in a sealed jar.
Yep.
That's crazy, isn't
It
it? Like
is
when you think about it, like wow, vibration goes through everything.
everything.
So yeah, that water, you drink it, it definitely feeds your cells. Because here's the thing: when you drink structured water, when you consume it, your body is hydrated on a cellular level, not just on an anatomical level. When you drink, it feeds your cells and it triggers endocytosis, penocytosis, and exocytosis. This is a modality of the cell where you have a drinking, eating. Your cells are just like you. They drink, they eat, and they poop. You know, endocytosis, penocytosis, and exocytosis. That structure, that fourth phase of water, is what the cell is yearning for. Because when we drink normal water, the body has of stepping that up to phase two or phase three to hydrate the bones, to hydrate the muscles, to you know to to go into the production or the breaking down. Some of that actually gets broken before it gets actually the ability to hydrate. Because when you look at the ACL concentration of your digestive fluid, it's made of what? Galactose. And galactose
The good sugar.
is the main component that the fiber in Chondrus crispus, and mainly in the main most nutritious mosses. I'm so tempted to talk about the ramifications of all the bad moss out here, but we just gonna stick to all the good information.
Yeah, yeah, on the healing.
The structured water, right? Point blank period. What people need to understand is it's hydrating your body on a multitude of levels where you're not normally getting. That's basically what it is. Like basically when you drink that watermelon juice, that cucumber juice, even if you take, like, okay, you can structure water by taking distilled water, regular distilled water, spring water, squeeze a key lime in there, add a pinch of pink Himalayan salt, and bottle it. That's not, we're not done. You shake it up for about 3 minutes straight, 3 or 4 minutes straight. You know why? Because that amalgamates and stimulates excitement of negative hydrogen ions in the bottle. And those electrons, they cling to the inner small grooves of the bottle, the curvatures of the bottle, and that increases the pH. What you have there is phase one, phase two water,
Wow.
phase two structured water, and then it only to a more complex. So, and this is the same thing, the same concept that I described in the beginning of having a USB flash drive that's 16 gigabytes versus 32 and the 64 and the 128. When you go to the Apple store and you get a new iPhone, they tell you want the 32, you want the 64, the 128. You know what that means. You can record more video content. You can put more songs. You can
Exactly.
actually more pictures. It increases the memory in the dielectric charge and the ability for hydration. So when you consume that, it chelates your cells. It actually replaces the cytoplasmic material and fluid that's on the inside of your cell, because the genesis of what Dr. Sebi tried to teach people, what Dr. Sebi tried to show people that they could do, lies within the cell and its medium. When you look at the medium of your cells, it is composed of what? Let me put my charger on. Cytoplasm. This cytoplasm has a certain composition. It creates a
Hey.
dynamic. Can you still hear me?
Oh yeah, no, I hear you. I was getting hyped because she said the same thing.
It creates a dynamic of mineral concentration inside and outside the cells. And that allows for a certain model to happen. All right?
Yeah.
For certain things to be allowed in the cell and certain things to be released outside of the cell. There has to be a certain type of mineral density inside and outside the cell. So we're talking about the intracellular and extracellular medium and area. So this is why Dr. Sebi talked about intracellular chelation so much, because that's where the disease is. That's where the disease is. That's when we talk, especially when we talk about a virus, okay, which is technically a microscopic parasite and is actually neither alive or dead. It has no consciousness. It has a sentient programmed, cellular program modality of functioning, and basically it is a program that is parasitic. It requires other healthy cells to thrive. And a virus was to take on a certain type of connotation, or if you were to put these two into perspective, right? A virus would be a football. Back a regular cell would be like a football stadium, right?
Yeah.
If you had an empty football stadium, right, and you had, Steve Madden throw a football or whatever, whoever you want to throw a football the farthest into the stadium, into the stands, and just tell you go find it. You know how long you be looking for that football? The football get lost in the football stadium. That's how a virus or a viral infection can be problematic. This is how viruses establish latency. Because we even talk the mechanisms that these viruses are armed with to protect their detection from the immune system, or replicate or the machinery that it hijacks from healthy cells to replicate itself in rapid fashion so it can copy itself like the agent from the Matrix.
Mm.
Well, you have to at that point find a way to just sweep everything out. You got to find a way to just wash the cells, to just wash everything clean. You got to be able to hit the reset button
Cleanse
on
that blood.
the area, because you now have an infestation of that are hijacking your cells and they're copying themselves. This is the way to understand a virus. And the way that Dr. Sebi put a muzzle on these things is through an intracellular chelation. Why does the virus take over its cell? How does the virus take over a cell? Well, the answer lies in the medium of the cell, the cytoplasm. Because when you look at the organelles, right, the microtubular working parts, the endoplasmic reticulum, the mitochondria, the Golgi apparatus, and the
Hey.
functions of all of these different organelles inside of the cell, this notification keeps popping up,
Yeah, that's because I keep
like trying to tell me to. Yeah, I just clicked it off.
yeah, keep doing
I'm
it.
gonna do the audition, bro, and I feel like people trying to send me stuff, but I don't want them to ban me or
No,
anything.
no, you're
So
safe now.
I
That's why
just
we're doing it
care.
like this. They can't
This is
send you yet.
this level of information is just the beginning. This is
Yeah.
nothing. I can The information that I want to talk, that I really like to talk about, I almost feel like it's too complex to bring down to,
Oh,
it's more
I
high level conversation. It's I like to baby spoon feed high level information to the public, but
I could
the
imagine.
stuff that I want to talk about is actually even more bizarre, like even more
Yeah.
freaky.
No, I
But
could imagine what you're hooked into in your stage of learning, bro.
bro,
Bro. Yo, is he not amazing? Y'all tap the screen, share the live. Thank y'all so
stay
much for
focused,
being.
man. I know we running, we still on the timer, right? All right, just to stay focused, going back to talking about the intracellular structured water, I started talking about viruses, which seems irrelevant, but I'm gonna bring it all back full circle.
Okay.
The virus is a microscopic parasite. It's in and out the cell. It's cultivating. It's terrorizing the cell. It's wrapping up the cell. It's creating problems for the cell. Well, you have cytoplasm. The only reason why it can do this, before I can even go on to talk about to do that, before I even go on to talk about anything else, the reason why it can do this is because it can invade the cell. Why can it invade the cell? It's because it has to break those walls and invade, to meld its viral envelope with the outer layers of the cell and get inside. And then when we understand the viral parts coming into the cell and hijacking it, we have to also understand that there is a immune system that is being turned off from detecting things, and also you have a convolution of the cytoplasmic medium inside of the cell. The way that you fix this all together, you just restore the medium of the cytoplasm. That right there is the genesis to where you start to heal diseases that are purportedly uncurable. Because what you have is a chelation that is happening, replacement. This is into osmoregulation as well. in America, we have people who are we live in one of the most obese countries, right? Like out of 144 different countries, we rank top 4 as far as cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular heart disease, dementia, and obesity. Not overweight, but obesity. What if most people that were obese knew that the weight that they were holding on to was actually not vestigial fat and weight? It was like actual like tissue. It's more so water weight. And I'm a certified wealth loss. I'm a weight loss specialist. I'm actually certified as a weight loss specialist. So most holding on to more water. Their osmoregulation is all off because you drink throughout the day and you pee throughout the day, right? Your body has to be able to transfer your nutrient profiles that are in normally your aqueous medium throughout your body, your intracellular and your extracellular, to the next set of water that's going on in your body, that's coming into your body. You know, you can't, you a lot of people have you know they're holding on to water weight because their intake of sodium is high, the carbs a little too high, you know what I mean, a lot of fried refined foods, and that can contribute to caloric intake and calories and yeah, more fat and whatever, but the soul is what keeps it there, because most people have a resting metabolism rate, and some people who eat bad do work out, or they have a lifestyle to where they get sun exposure during noon that actually creates cellular biogenesis that increases your ability to burn fat normally, right? Like literally, if we did not have the food being convoluted and also so much amount of sodium coming into the bodies of people in America, we would have people that were more conducive weight. And most people are not overweight because they're walking around carrying all this fat. They're actually carrying around a lot of water. They're
Mhm.
carrying a lot of. So anytime you look at somebody that's big, they're not full of fat. They're full of water. They're full of a lot of water. Body is holding on to a lot of water, and it's because of the sodium concentration in the chicken sandwiches. It shouldn't be no that crazy. I looked at the Popeyes chicken sandwich, bro.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
amount of sodium. I'm getting off topic from the structure of water, I know, but the sodium is in everything. All the food that they market, much salt. It's too much salt, and it's causing us to hold on to so much water to where we get bigger. And also that, and you have a hormone called IGF-1 from animal protein. This tells your body to get bigger than it's supposed to be. So that what I started talking about first, literally just the standard American diet being crazy. But what if I told people that the contributing factor to your body being big or being, seen, or people looking at you as a connotation of that is that you're actually holding on to water weight. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Mhm.
not actual weight. And you could lose that quicker than you think. You actually just have to change the density and the concentration of certain minerals in your body. Don't go to the gym and kill yourself. You got to detox. I don't like when I see people who are my clients that are overweight and they go to the gym. I need to go to the gym. No, because you will hurt something. You will damage arteries in your brain. You will damage cardiovascular. You will have complications, bro. Detoxification is first. It starts with the plate. It starts with fruits, vegetables, grains, structured water, sea moss, minerals, herbs. Do that for about a month. And then you can go to the gym. Too many people go straight to the gym and try to just, you know, power drive through it. But anyway, going back to the cytoplasm of the cells, structured water, when you look at the fourth phase of it is reminiscent to the cytoplasmic fluid that is the meat of the inside of your cells. Yes, the inside of your cells is constituted by something called cytoplasm. What is that? It is a jelly structured form of water. It is a liquid medium with a very specific concentration and density, right?
Mm-hmm.
That allows for the microtubular working parts of the. When that loses its integrity, the microtubular lose their integrity and their functionality. The mitochondria is not able to produce the same amount of adenotriphosphate.
Hold on real quick before you finish that process, because I like to throw in. First of all, we had almost 1,000 people in the room again. Salute to everybody tapping the screen and sharing the live right now. Second of all, how can you? What are some of the easier ways for somebody to start losing this excess water? Just to throw some solutions in the mix too before you finish that process.
Calcium. And I
Calcium.
spoke about this on the live before.
So herbs
Intracellular,
or foods or both?
both. Sea
Herbs and
moss would be the best thing.
sea moss.
Kappa
Yeah.
carrageenan, in fact. You have, and I can,
Sea moss.
you know the reason why. The reason why is, and it surprised me. Calcium is like a magic. It's like a silver bullet
Yeah,
for weight loss.
it is.
Calcium sulfate. The profile of calcium that you find in sea moss, that you find in kale, that you find in a couple other places. I'm just thinking of so many different things. Um, it is a silver bullet for weight loss. It basically, when you increase intracellular levels of bioavailable calcium,
Yep.
it increases thermogenesis. And that triggers adipocytosis. That is the controlled cellular program death of fat cells.
Exactly. Exactly.
Glycerol, right? When you have the adipose cell, you have glycerol, and then you have the triglycerides on top of the glycerol. Leptins get liberated, and the glycerol goes through glycogenesis into glucose, and glucose into the bloodstream for the purposes of producing energy. This is why it's so much easier for people to lose weight when they detox first, because you have to adjust your resting metabolism first, provide your body with the staples it needs, because if you're building a house, you need materials, you need bricks, you need cement, you need gloves, you need hats, you need boots, you need the little chisel thing to move the cement off, right?
Yep.
Your body's gonna need fiber. It's gonna need calcium. It's going to need potassium. It's going to you're gonna need if you're a woman, you're gonna need iron for sure. Um, okay, going back. The calcium is something that increases thermogenesis and that increases your resting metabolism rate even when you don't work out. Okay? When you eat healthy foods that are full of oxygen, antioxidants, especially structured water, you're getting, a lot of those free radicals under arrest. You're getting a lot of the chelation of a lot of the cells, getting, dispatching a lot of, inorganic sugar, inorganic salts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Carbonic acid, all these things that are basically like a glue, like a gum
So he's
to
telling
your
us, y'all,
cells.
go alkalize your body, do healthy activities, do things that help your body get back to its normal, your molecular structure. That's going to come off by mineralizing your body, by getting minerals
And,
back in there and getting active again. Of course, is going to help boost it as well back in there too. So the same fundamentals that we talk about, starting the day with a hot alkaline herbal tea, having some fruit in your breakfast, having some leafy greens in your lunch and dinners, as well as like he said, structured water and sea moss. We had somebody come on live about 2 weeks ago and tell us that in her first 21 days that she lost almost 30 pounds actually in her first 21 days on herbal infused sea moss. Thank you so much. Hey girl, thank you so much. Hope to get the recording. Yes, it's still going. I hope it can all save properly on my phone. um Solo Dolo, thank you so much for joining. So yeah, pretty much going through the alkaline transformation is going to help you shed that water rate very quickly. She lost 30 pounds in 21 days, y'all. And I've heard of, my clients having larger, just from literally, she didn't go straight 100% plant-based, but getting a ton of alkaline meals, fruit smoothies with sea moss to start the day off. It's going to start chemical changes within your body, including, I know you talked a lot about the water weight, but also the loosening up the mucoid plaque, right, bro? In allowing a better of absorption of minerals. Oh, he froze. He froze. I wasn't sure if it was me. What about a person with a heart trouble taking meds, water pills, high blood pressure? So you have to gradually, same thing. If you're gonna start with the foods, instead of like 0 to 100, go to straight like fasting or something like that. You're gonna start with the foods, getting sea moss in their system, because you're not gonna need high blood pressure and so many different. You're gonna stop needing as many of these medications to regulate if you get these processes that we're talking about started. You will come off some medications. So process, and we can't 0 to 100. I wonder if his phone died. After all, you know what? It's 2 a.m. and when he comes back, I'm gonna let him say his final piece, but I'm not gonna front. I am beat. I am a bit I'm due for a recharge, and I want to make sure and ask him, and absorb. I mean, this information. Wow, this information, bro. Back in the building. I see you. Wow, appreciate you. So we got him back up. You're so welcome. I want to buy you CMOS. Thank you so much for asking, Decorator. I appreciate you. I will definitely, let me screenshot your name right now, bro. I want to a
My
couple.
phone died.
Yeah. See, I was curious. I a couple of people have expressed some desire to check out Cronus Crispus. I'm gonna send them, both our information. I have a stock set Cronus Crispus, and then if you have any other personal issues, things that you want to adjust for, my brother Menez in the box below has a custom blends that he does. So if you want to get something pertaining to for a certain, situation, he can do that for you as well too. And then there's other people out there as well too. If you guys want to learn how to tell the real from the fake mosses and some things to look out, so that way you can be more educated in the future. That's something that I have a video on. And then we'll also, I'm sure, going to be talking about that in the future as well. So what I was saying was, there's so much more that I still want to, I had
Yeah,
just
let's
like,
get it. So
just
like
like
we
two.
got we can go another 30 minutes. I actually was gonna
You got
get
you got
some of
another
the top
30 in you.
stuff. Yeah.
You know, I wanted to. I'm a little tired. I was telling them, but I really wanted to ask you
Yeah.
about two things before we went, and I'm sure we could get more than a half hour out of these two things that I wanted to ask you. And guys, if there's any question that we did not cover, first of all, message it to me right now. Tap my name up top here, and then tap the chat bottom button on the bottom, and message me any question that you want me to ask my bro right here. And of course, I'm gonna send you guys, excuse me, his social medias, and you guys are gonna follow him as well too. We're gonna get him an audition and get him to be an official host on Bigo. I cannot wait to see what this brother's hosting journey is like on Bigo. I'm honored to bring somebody to the platform that I think could, just impact lives on such a high level. So the two things that I wanted to for sure talk about before we got out of here, and I tried to get as many of you guys questions in there, and we went down, and I wanted to talk about structured water. So I'm really glad he gave us a really thorough dive on the processes and the reasons why structured water. We got into some real cell work, biology, microbiology. Now to bring it back to something that people don't know. Decorator, by the way, to answer your question, Decorator, thank you so much. I just screenshotted you. I'm going to message you some info for you can order either, directly through my website, or I take Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, and I would really appreciate, everybody supporting. We want to do a food drive next month in December. We were supposed to do it this week, but we're going to do it next month in December. It was part of my solar return celebration, but we had to push it back just a little bit. So I appreciate all y'all support, and of course it's investing in yourself as well too. So it's a double whammy. Thank y'all so much. So the next topic, and of course we're going to revisit this video I'm recording too. I want to make sure we can actually save this recording. We're going to finish up in the next 20 or so, guys. If you got one more you want to get in there, let us know. But I'm going to get in scalar waves, scalar energy. Before we go, we got to touch on that. We talked about scalar energy, guys, for the 24 days of healing. Apparently, there's your electromagnetic field that your body resonates from, and then there's the Earth's field. You know what? Maybe I should see what your explanation, what your breakdown is like, because my understanding is that scalar, there's a field around us that we can interact with, and this energy field has incredible healing properties. It's known as the ether. It's known as chi and ki, and the breath enhances scalar waves. Our good brother, the Black Airbender, talks a lot about scalar energy. And I noticed, of course, I was like, birds of a feather. You follow my bro too. I was following him for a while too, and I love to see, how we all are on that same type of stuff. But he's so, well progressed. He talks about the pyramids. You guys seen people wearing copper pyramids on their head. There's also organite. And then I talked to y'all about frequency breathers. You can tune frequencies directly into inputting into your body. It's all based off scalar waves and scalar energy. I don't think I do the best explanation. Like, I have an idea of the concept, but what do you got for us on scalar energy and how we are scalar antenna and how it heals?
Well, before I talk about that, shout out to the Black Airbender, man. That brother's amazing. Um, from what I understand, right, this scalar energy is something that is a consonant with the torsion field, the bioelectromagnetic torsion field energy that envelopes the torus that emits from the concursive and recursive waves produced from the heart. Give me 1 second. I'm actually gonna
Wow.
do a live. I'm just gonna get some of this conversation on my tongue.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I told you guys when we were talking deep breathing tonight, right? And I said I had one more set of videos that I said, oh, last video, but then I said, no, I actually had some more videos I wanted to play from a more abstract breather. That's the Black Airbender. You can find him on IG. Very educated brother. And I want you guys to all, learn more about scalar waves. I think it's a potential disease eradicator if we properly overstand it and learn how to harness it. That's how powerful that it appears to be from the small understanding that I begin to have of scalar energy. So naturally, I wanted to bring it up tonight. Um, there are, we talk about frequency and how it's all energy, it's all sound. The Earth has ways of, and you said concursive and recursive with our heartbeat. I mean, it's just layers to it, man. It's levels to it, y'all. And when you see these tools that allow you, and it's funny because years ago when I first started looking to alternative healing, I saw somebody hooked up to a scalar box. I had no idea what it was at that time. I actually, at the time, I thought it was a gimmick. I said, "Oh, come on, look at these people, plugging people into sound and stuff like this. Like, is that even real?" And I was a skeptic, but I also didn't refute it in my mind. I said, I gotta look into this and see what truth there is to it. And years later, coming back around to scalar waves, not even realizing that's the technology that box is plugging people up to, and essentially harnessing vibrations, I guess. I mean, again, my language is my interpretation and explanation is growing on this topic for sure, but it's a discussion that needs to be had.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people understand that your energy is very important. A lot of people, um, for whatever reasons, for many reasons, feel out of place on a daily basis. And when you really, really look into that type of scenario from an energetic perspective, it can definitely tap into scalar issues, torsion field, bioelectromagnetic resonance issues. We live in a world that is ebbing and flowing and constituted by energy of all kinds, all different wavelengths, the meridian pathways that body alone.